mind if I tell you a story really quick? So once upon a time, there was this book. And upon the words of this very special book, an entire religion was founded, right? But the plot twist was this very book in which this religion was so sacredly founded on, the book itself actually destroyed the entire religion. Now, I'm not going to name the name of this book, but it's the Quran. Let me explain. And really quick before we get into the video, I just wanted to let you know, if you're a Christian who's passionate about spreading the gospel and representing your faith, not just through your mouth, but also through what you wear, you might be interested in my merch store, Bible Verse of Truth merch, where I create clothes, some with inspirational messages, some with essential reminders to the faith, and some that just look pretty cool. But each of them equally short, simple, and eye-catching. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'll leave a link down in the description. But other than that, we can get into that video, because that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Listen up. If you have ever been in a debate with a Muslim and they have told you the Bible has been corrupted, they do not believe nor follow the words of the Quran. And today I'm going to prove that using the Quran. As I briefly touched on in my Christianity versus Islam video, the Quran acknowledges the Torah, the Old Testament, and the Gospel, New Testament, as divinely revealed revelations from Allah. Don't take my word for it. It's no fun if you do that. Now, I'm not going to read all that because it's pretty extensive, but go to the Quran, go to Surah 5, verse 43 to 47, and the Surah 5, verse 68. If you read that correctly, you'll see that verse 43 states basically, why do Christians and Jews come to you for judgment? Let them judge by the Torah which was given to them. So the verses in a whole, they say, judge by the Torah and the Injil, the gospel which was given to you by Allah. They also say, if you do not judge by those, then you are a true disbeliever. And also, if you don't observe them, then you'd have nothing to stand on. For anyone who doesn't see my point, contrary to what modern day Muslims will tell you, the Torah and the gospel were still perfectly preserved and not corrupted at all in the time of Muhammad. Now, I said it in my Christianity versus Islam video, and I will say it again. The Quran says several times over that the words of Allah are unchangeable. And yet, mind you, let me remind you that the Torah and the gospel are, according to the Quran, divinely revealed words from God. Oh, but we've already went over what Muslims will tell you, right? The gospel and the Torah have been altered over time, and the gospel has been predominantly lost and altered by those who came after him. So this phenomenon would mean two things. One, Allah's words were changed, which goes against Islamic theology. Two, if the Torah and the gospel were actually changed, then the passages in the Quran which tell us to judge by and stand on and observe the Torah and the gospel are now completely irrelevant, seeing as to how they've been changed. Now, let's pretend that this isn't confusing enough and doesn't directly contradict itself in almost every area. This is only the beginning. Now, unlike the Quran, which was always supposed to be orally transmitted, which, really quick side note, I just want to know why Muslims think the fact that if every Quran was destroyed off the face of the earth, they could bring it back the exact same through recitation, proves it to be the holy book of God. I like the way legendary Sam Shimon or David Wood, I don't remember which one, I like the way they said it. If being able to bring a book back exactly the same that was destroyed proves it to be the holy book of God, then Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham must be the true holy book of God, because it's way easier to recite. Many people have recited it, and if it was destroyed off the planet, I think we'd be able to bring it back the exact same. Two, the concept of every Quran being destroyed off the face of the earth is highly hypothetical, so with the assumption that hypothetical theories are welcome here, if every single Muslim who ever recited the Quran was wiped off the face of the earth along with every Quran, then how would the Quran be brought back? Like, we even have some personal examples of this in history, like over 200 verses being lost from Surah 33 and only 70-something being recovered because Uthman sent the only ones who recited those verses into battle and they died, or Aisha's verses of the Quran that only she had being eaten by sheep. Anyway, the gospel was always supposed to be read. It was meant to be a book. They sent the manuscripts to churches, they were mass copied, and then they were sent out to other churches, and the process was repeated many times over. So if something was to be altered in these texts, it would have had been before all this mass copying, because a lot of the thousands of recovered manuscripts we have today, they would be very inconsistent with each other had something been changed after the mass copying. However, as I believe I've stated, Muslims believe that the alterations happened after the time of Jesus and before the time of Muhammad. According to the Quran, 600 years later, these texts that were believed to be corrupted were in fact uncorrupted, still reliable, credible, and were still the divine words of Allah. If the Torah and the Gospel were indeed corrupted, why would 600 years later the Quran still be telling us to judge by, stand on, and observe corrupted texts? Like, that doesn't add up. So if we're being honest here, when we compare the Bible and the Quran and see the hundreds if not thousands of differences between the two, if we're being honest, just note that the Bible does not contradict the Quran contradicts the Bible. And this isn't simply because the Bible was written a couple hundred years before the Quran was ever given, but because the Quran actively confirms that the Bible is true. Thus far, any contradictions between the two makes the Quran false, not the Bible. And the beautiful thing about this is, if you're a Muslim and you disagree with what I said in this video, you're not disagreeing with me, you're disagreeing with your own Quran. So you can work that out with Islam. That's not on me. Now, funny enough, it doesn't end here. I mean, the video ends here, but it doesn't end here. Because what if I told you, just like Islam proves itself false by proving that the Bible is true, what if I told you that while trying to say that Jesus is not God, the Quran actually proves that Jesus is God? We will cover that in the next video, and I hope to see you in that video. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.